Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you 5 funds and trusts that are available on Freetrade and Trading 212 that have all beaten the markets. Some of them have made absolutely huge gains. So I wanted to share them with you today because I know a lot of people started out investing with Trading 212 and Freetrade. So it's important for me to share with you these trusts and funds so you can take a closer look at them and see if you think they are worth investing in. So I really enjoy investing in actively managed funds and trusts if they have got a proven track record of beating the market. And I generally invest in these in my investment ISA, but some of the investments that I've talked about here on this channel are not available on Freetrade or Trading 212, so I wanted to make a dedicated video of investments that I'm currently holding that are available on Trading 212 and Freetrade that have had some phenomenal results. So the first trust that I wanted to share with you is the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust. This is a global large cap equity trust, so it's covering the whole of the world. They tend to invest in around 50 to 100 different companies. So you've got a nice diverse portfolio there, but it's concentrated enough to have some real winners in there too. So their 3-year annualized returns are over 42% a year, which is absolutely phenomenal. And they are pitched against the FTSE All World, which has seen a 3-year annualized return of 14.15%. So let's just say 10 years ago, you invested £1,000 into the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust. Today, it would be worth a whopping £13,302 without you having deposited any more into the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust. So you can see that that growth is absolutely huge. Whereas if you had invested that same £1,000 10 years ago into the FTSE All World, it would now be worth £3,490. So as you can see, this trust is really worth, in my own personal opinion, investing in because those gains are so much higher. So what's nice about the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust is it has no set limits in terms of geography or in terms of the industry or sector that they invest in. So you've got a nice variety of sectors throughout the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust, although I will say it is quite tech heavy. So the top 5 holdings for the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust as it stands at the moment are Moderna, Illumina, ASML Holdings, Tencent Holdings, and then Tesla. So you've obviously got some really big names in those top 5 holdings. I personally am invested in the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust in my investment ISA and have been for a couple of years now. I have been very pleased with the performance of it so far and will continue to stay invested in it. Just to say that on the whole, these investments should be considered long-term investments. I plan to hold these for at least the next 5 years and probably into the future. And coming in at number 2, I'm going to talk to you about the Baillie Gifford US Growth Trust. This is available on both Trading 212 and Freetrade. I have a small investment in this trust in my investment ISA. I personally am very heavily invested in the Baillie Gifford American Fund. However, the Baillie Gifford American Fund is not available on Freetrade or Trading 212, and this is the absolute closest I could get to it. It's still a Baillie Gifford trust, and their top 10 holdings are very similar. It's also obviously focused on the US and the American market as well. So it's a very similar trust to the Baillie Gifford American Fund, which I am also invested in. So as I said, there's quite a lot of crossover within their top 10 holdings. So both of them have Shopify, Moderna, Roku, Tesla, and Trade Desk in their top 10 holdings. So talking about the returns for the Baillie Gifford US Growth Trust, they have been phenomenal. So 3-year annualized returns are 39.05%, and that is versus the peer group index of 15.66%. So again, this might be worth you having a look at if you do want to beat the market, but you don't want to go away and choose individual stocks and shares, because this US Growth Trust has done exceptionally well over the last 3 years and hopefully will continue to do well into the future. I wanted to give a nice level of variety in terms of geographical region for these funds and trusts that I'm including in this video. So the next trust is focused on Asia excluding Japan, and it is the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust. I've actually got a separate video on this if you want to check it out in a little bit more detail, but its results have been incredible. I think it's actually had the strongest 3-year returns of any of the trusts that I'm including in this video. So 3-year annualized returns are 44.08% returns every year for the last 3 years on average, which is incredible, and that is versus the peer group index of 14.74%. So obviously, as I said, this is Asia excluding Japan. It is the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust, which is actually managed by Baillie Gifford as well. It's got a good mix of emerging and developed markets, so it is 64.98% emerging and then 35% developed markets. So its top 3 holdings are Sea Limited ADR, Tata Motors, and then Li Ning Co. As I said, I am invested in all of these investments that I'm talking to you today. So I hold some of the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust in my investment ISA, and again have been so pleased with its performance, so wanted to mention it in today's video. So this is available across Trading 212 and Freetrade, but having a look at the Freetrade account, I can see that you do have to have a Plus membership to buy the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust. The Plus membership, I believe, is $9.99 a month, and it means that you can have an ISA with them. It also means that you can get 3% interest on any cash holdings that you have in Freetrade, and it also means you have access to more investment choices. For example, the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust. On Trading 212, you can trade the Pacific Horizon Investment Trust without any additional fees. So the last 2 investments that I wanted to give you are European investments. So we've gone for a global trust, then we've gone for a US trust, then we've gone for an Asia excluding Japan trust, and now the last 2 are European ones. Again, both available on Trading 212 and Freetrade. And the reason I've chosen to focus on these 2 different ones is because one is focused purely on smaller companies, and then one focuses on investing in large, medium, and small companies. So starting with the smaller companies, it is the Montanaro European Smaller Companies Trust. Again, I hold this in my ISA. I like to talk to you about investments that I'm actually holding because I think it shows that I actually believe in them and think that they could do well into the future. So yes, I am holding this in my investment ISA. It has 3-year annualized returns of 32.08%, and that is versus the peer group index of 20.74%. So again, beating that index by a mile, which is absolutely phenomenal over the last 3 years. Now moving on to the next European investment trust, it is the BlackRock Greater Europe Investment Trust. That one, as I said, rather than focusing on small companies, is focusing on large, mid and small cap companies as well. So if you were perhaps not too keen on just investing in smaller companies, then this might be worth you having a look at. Its 3-year annualized returns are 27.34% versus 11.89% for its primary benchmark, which is the FTSE World Europe. So again, a really strong performance. So these 2 European trusts are available on Trading 212 and for the Freetrade, and they're available on Freetrade as well, but I do believe you have to have the Plus membership as well to buy these 2 trusts. So if you don't have the Plus membership for Freetrade, then the first 2 trusts I mentioned, which are the Scottish Mortgage Investment Trust and the Baillie Gifford US Growth Trust, are both available on Freetrade without having to have that Plus membership. So yeah, please go away and do your own research before making any new investments, and check that you are comfortable with the level of risk that you're taking, check that you're completely comfortable in what you're investing in and how it trades. I absolutely want you to make investments that are right for you and right for your time of life as well. But I hope you found this video helpful, and I personally think I have included some amazing trusts and funds in this video. So thank you very much for watching, and have a really lovely day. Bye bye.